Man, we both been on the move and grinding and stuff like that, man. It makes it a little bit hard to kind of get in and do interviews, man. But
Right.
here we are today, you guys, man, back for more. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes.
It's good to see y'all. Of course, y'all know who I am, comedian Don Garrett. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Don Garrett Comedy, Twitter, comedian Don G, and also my website, dogcomedy.com. To the left of me, we got the 2018-2019 Fight Night and Comedy Battle Champ, my brother from another. Tell him who he is, partner.
Man, comedian Chris Mons. I don't got all the shit Don got. I just got my.
I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing.
You can just text me. Now, Chris Mons Comedy on Instagram, comedian Chris Mons on Facebook, and Chris_Mons on Twitter.
That's right, man. And of course, shout outs to our sponsor, Simply Homemade Catering.
With that good ass food.
With that good ass food. And of course, you can find us on all social media platforms at
the PoppaDon Podcast.
Also, shout outs to our home station, man. Power 104.4 FM #.
We are the streets.
Shout outs to my man Ben Rudy with Freedom Landscape and Lawn Care. Tuning in, you guys. Miss Tara Brown Lachey. It's good to see you guys,
What's up,
man.
y'all?
We got a very cool, special brother in the building, man. This has been my guy since I started comedy, man. One of the first people I met, man, in the Comedy Zone when I started to perform there and stuff like that, man. We finally got him, man. We've been trying to do this for a minute, but finally got him here, man. Welcome to the PoppaDon Podcast, my man, Drew Covert.
Welcome,
What's up,
brother.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome, man. Welcome, bro. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
I mean, I guess on Twitter, I'm on. You can find me at Drew Please. You can find like one-liners from 2 years ago, and you can search through my likes of like political shit. But that's pretty much it.
That's what, now, Drew, I know that like working at the Zone, man. But are you like you do comedy, right? You're a comedian.
I mean, I haven't in a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Get
guess
back out there, brother.
I will eventually. I'm still writing shit. I have to start liking it again before I can start taking it out. But I mean the drive, the want to eventually get back out there is still there for sure.
What a good thing about Charlotte, man, is that there are comedy rooms popping up left and right. Of course, Comedy Zone is the mecca of comedy here, man, and you have so many rooms and open mics and places that are popping up, man. Comedy is kind of like a hot button topic in the city.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen it grow just in my 2.5 almost 3 years of doing comedy, man. Let me ask you this, man. Working at, the comedy club, the Comedy Zone, man, like, we're just gonna get into it. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen?
Craziest?
Yeah, because I know you see celebs all the time, and then local comics, man. What's the craziest thing that Drew has ever seen at the Zone?
I mean, honestly, probably the wildest show we've ever had was last night's.
Word?
I mean,
Wait, who was there last night?
It was Arnaz J.
That's right. Okay.
It was a fun show, but there was a situation, and we temporarily lost our liquor license.
Wait, what?
Or it was on hold or something like that.
Yeah.
So for the weekend, we could only sell beer and wine.
Okay,
And,
not hard stuff.
Yeah, and it was.
Well, hell, expensive as drinks is. I mean, that kind of did y'all a favor. If people want to drink, they gonna drink anyway.
Exactly.
I just snuck my flask in there a couple times.
Yeah, and if people had a heads up, they probably would have done that more. But
right,
definitely
it
so.
Was,
man.
and then in the middle of the rush, the soda machine broke, and we ran out of Moscato, which is like the wine that you switch to if you can't drink cocktails.
Especially for black,
connoisseur.
black women love Moscato. Moscato give me gas.
So it was a great show.
Yeah.
Arnaz killed it as he always does, and it was a fun night. But I wasn't gonna lie, it was one of the most high blood pressure nights I had in a while.
That would cause a lot of anxiety, especially when you're dealing with like 200, 300 people.
Black people.
Hey, they're pretty much.
I was agreeing to him, just.
I'll be honest with you, that's what it is.
Drew said, but off the record.
Right, yeah. He covers his mic up.
We talk later. But that's it's important to stay calm under pressure like that, which in turn brings us back to the subject of comedy.
Oh, absolutely.
Because when you see somebody having a set, and I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of bombings, when you see somebody having a set and they're not doing as well, it seems like they kind of start to panic a little bit.
Oh, 100%.
Start to panic, man. So, being a comedian yourself, Drew, man, for any, body that's pretty much, thinking about doing comedy or being a comedian, or anybody that's even 5 years or less, for somebody who's maybe not having a bad set, maybe not having a good set, what advice would you give them to kind of like stay calm in the moment?
In the moment, I would just say enjoy it. Like eat shit with a
smile.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't run off the stage.
Right, and it's just something like everyone's gonna eat shit. It always happens.
Right.
And the only suggestion I would give is just watch more comedy, like especially live comedy, because watching specials isn't going to prepare you for shit. That's like the best. That's the best shit that anyone's gonna see.
Richard Pryor, we'll get better touch on it.
Richard Pryor specials might be something.
The first show he bombed.
He did. The second show is the special that we see now.
Exactly.
One of Dave Chappelle's specials, he bombed the first time, and they had to reshoot it.
Word.
Yeah, I can't
was
remember
it Killing Me Softly? That's probably his best one to date.
That's when he was in Philly, right, with the Fugees and all that.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Well, it was at the block party.
That was the block party.
Yeah.
Okay, the one with the block party, I think they had to reshoot.
Okay, because it didn't do so well.
Right, to his liking.
But like people who have been doing it for like 20 years and shit like that, they know exactly how to just roll with the punches and like get the crowd on your side. Like some people just so quickly resort to like, oh, it's the crowd's fault and shitting on the crowd. And there's always a place for that. Like no crowd is above getting their teeth kicked in.
Right.
But
that's right.
But it's all about figuring out what's the right thing to do in that situation.
Yeah.
And seeing pros do it is the best way to pick up those little cues and stuff like that.
For sure.
I'm glad you said watching specials and things, because one of the common things that I hear is always, did you see so and so special? Did you see so and so special? Did you see so and so special? And I personally feel like you can watch it for an entertainment value.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Specials are dope.
Yeah, exactly. They're great productions that are put on, man. It's extravagant. It looks like the greatest, what we all want to accomplish when we record our sets.
Right.
Is what we want to accomplish. However, my only con to that is that it's edited.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's edited. I've attended a special when Kevin Hart shot, I believe it's what now, or like what next, or something like that.
Spectrum.
No, he did this one at the Lincoln Financial Field in Philly.
Oh, okay. God, I think it's What's Next or something
What
like
Next
that.
or something like that. And I was watching it, and they had, of course, his openers, the Plastic Cup Boys, his Homeboys, and things like that. But the show starts and stuff like that, and then after the show, they had helicopters going and recording up in the sky and things, and then they were like, "Oh, here comes the producer." I'm like, "A producer for?" And so he's like, "All right, on the count of three, I need everybody to laugh really loud."
Are you serious?
Wow.
On the count of three, I need everybody to clap, stand, whatever, this, that, and the third.
Like it's a talk show or something.
Right, it's a whole. I'm telling you, especially, it's a whole production, man.
I've worked a few shows that we've taped like special or not. I don't think I've ever worked a special that ended up going on Netflix, but I've definitely seen sets that people are taping with the intent of redistributing. I've never seen that before. Like sugaring jokes is something that everyone knows everyone does. I've never seen we got to get this crowd to give us these laughs so we can later put in post. That's ridiculous. I've never heard of that.
Damn, me either.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, it was a great show. It was a great show. It was killer. It was funny. But I think it's still, more for the aesthetics, the look and.
Well, yeah, he's the biggest in the game right now. So of course he's gonna. I get where he's coming from, the money behind it, but I'm like, fuck, that takes away from the organic. This is a word, organicness behind it, if that's a real word. Yeah. Because you want people to genuinely laugh and genuinely be, okay, this is funny, but you don't want to be like, all right, stand up and wave your hands on three, But that's just me, so I don't know.
No, it's the same. I definitely agree with that, man. I want to take a quick second, man, to shout out two of our watchers, man. Lachey Hill in Tennessee tuning in.
Oh yeah,
what's up,
funny.
Ladies? Crystal Rainey, hey, how you doing, Crystal?
What's
Rainey?
up, Crystal?
What's up, Crystal?
Yeah, we love Crystal, man. I was hanging out with Crystal and Noda yesterday.
Oh,
man.
no kidding.
Yeah, we were at Billy Jack's, man. And
do you think she was the one that poisoned you? Or?
That could have been.
That sounds about right.
You gotta give the people context.
I probably overindulged, man. And then I had a drink as well, so.
You had seafood and liquor?
Yeah.
Oh, you asking for it?
Yeah, I did, man. But it was good, man.
Pissed off your stomach.
Jesus.
Yeah. My stomach, man, it's all bad, man. With this acid reflux and then on top of that, just being obese. It's just.
No, I don't say obese. I would say you big for your height.
Somebody said thick is the new skinny. I didn't know how to take that. I felt like it was a compliment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I didn't know if it was a backhand one.
Unless they hate skinny people.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. That's
who said that?
I forgot who said that, but it was a lady.
Because it was a lady. So I don't want no dude like, you thick.
It sounds like it's just someone who just recently just changed their preference and what they find attractive.
Like, you know what? I can't find nobody thick.
They went to the settings and changed their preferences. They're like, no skinny.
Yeah, I want thick. That's funny.
All thick, man. We talk about, we just mentioned, we kind of touched on the Kevin Hart being like the biggest in the game.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and I kind of want to, discuss this with you guys a little bit. In my opinion, Kevin Hart picked up the ball when Cat Williams dropped it.
Yeah, we want for Cat.
Sure.
Yeah, you can look at music. For Aaliyah down, won't be on Beyonce.
I argue that point all the time.
Yeah.
I tell people that, man, because like, not to say that Beyonce wouldn't have been a successful artist.
Aaliyah was on her way, dog.
She hadn't even hit her prime yet.
Yeah, she was on her way.
She hadn't even hit her prime, and she had like #1 albums, countless hits and things like that. She had a crazy following, you know what I'm saying? And she was just, it felt like she was just really getting started.
Mm-hmm.
So,
She had When We Almost Die.
You're right, exactly. And she was Queen of the Damned. She was getting her, acting and things like that.
Let me see that one.
Queen of the Damned. I stick to Twilight.
Yeah, don't leave that alone. No, that ain't a good one. That ain't her best work.
All right, okay. Rest in peace, her soul, man. It's like Graffiti Bridge.
What is that?
That's the sequel to Purple Rain.
This you bullshit. It's a sequel.
I ain't lying.
I never knew that.
I get the feeling that's where the comparison between her and Cat Williams ends, though.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of like how I think about it happening, because Cat, it feels like he was on his way to becoming the biggest comedian, you know, but he had a lot of personal and legal troubles and things like that, man. And then here comes Kevin Hart, with like, I'm a grown little man, and he just took off overnight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kevin Hart was the person that revolutionized social media.
Yeah, he jumped on it when it was hot.
Yep, revolutionized social media to get himself out there, and now you see people to this day still, doing videos trying to go viral. You see the influx of apps and things like that, like Vine and TikTok, and just different Thriller, different videos and things like that. So when it comes to social media comedians versus like just stand up people, Drew, because you've seen both, working at. What's your take on the social media comedians versus the stand up guys?
I mean, there's a difference.
Yeah.
But I don't think it necessarily has to be the way. I mean, there's a lot of social media people who get into comedy just so that they can get to the meet and greet part, just so they can get to the selling merch part, and like all that shit. Which, I mean, make your money however you can.
Right.
Social media presence is relatively fleeting, so I have no ill will towards anyone who wants to try to capitalize it on as much as they can.
Yeah, you gotta get them dollars.
Yeah,
but
money.
there are a few people who are on social media and got their fame on like YouTube or Vine or some shit like that, who are also really into the art of comedy and are into the form of it.
Davis.
Yeah.
Ryan Davis.
Absolutely.
Ryan Davis.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's definitely always the example that I use of somebody who has mastered the social media game but is a beast on that stage.
Yeah,
for sure.
And that's, I mean, for me as a relatively picky comedy fan, that's all I can ask for.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
Good content.
Just care about the
craft.
craft. Exactly.
100%.
The art craft, man, like stand up. Here's the thing, man. As I always hear Joe Pace says, stand up is the purest form of art there is.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And I agree, because you are legit bearing your soul in front of strangers. You're telling them about stuff that happened in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling them about your deepest, darkest thoughts that you haven't even shared with like your family and nothing like that. You are basically bearing yourself to these people in the hopes that they don't judge you, but they'll just laugh at what happens,
They'll judge us in the car.
Oh, yeah, definitely going home. Always. They definitely will.
But as long as we get that laugh, that's what we care about.
That's what we care about as comedians, man. Like, Drew, what's your favorite part of comedy? Whether it be like watching or performing, what's your absolute favorite part of comedy?
I think my favorite part of comedy is when you hear a punchline and you're like, I had no idea it was going to go that way, but it makes total fucking sense that it went that way.
Left turns.
And like, especially the ones where you're like almost mad at yourself. Like, how did I never think of that?
Right.
Like,
yeah, I had those moments like, damn, that was funny. Like, I see something on Facebook, I'm like, fuck, I ain't like that. So.
What's Chris? What's your favorite part of comedy, man? I know it's a lot of favorite parts, but what's your absolute favorite part of comedy?
I would say, man, getting off stage after a good set, because going on stage like we have like a good show going on. Everybody in front of you's killing it, and like you got to come up now, and you don't want to kill the crowd, and so you have a good show, and you finally get off stage, and all that anxiety just goes away.
Yeah.
To me, that's the best part. Like that's really what you prep for all day. So.
Definitely, man.
What about you, brother?
I think my favorite part of comedy, man, is just the people that you touch. Because comedy can be a art form, and it's of course, like we just said, it's a pure form of art, but you'd be surprised at the lives that you touch and the people that remember your name, remember your face, and the people that'll follow you, and next time you're performing, they'll come out and see you, and they can have heard your jokes a million times, but they still love you know. I love to just talk to people after shows and things like that, man, because I think that it's as shock factor to them when we're actually people. We're human.
Exactly.
You know, we're human. Because I'm pretty sure you guys would agree when we're on stage and we're telling jokes, we're put on a pedestal. You know, they put us in a different kind of class of individual and whatnot. But it's like after the show, if you take a minute to have a drink or just talk or just laugh or chat, their respect for you grows immensely.
Right, for sure.
You know?
Because when you just walk on stage, they just automatically assume that you're this person that has this magical ability to go up and like do this amazing performance. But you're
of the courage.
Exactly, and that's really all it is. Is you're just a person. You're as terrified of a large group as like anybody else. But
100%. Like I can stand and talk in front of 1,500, 2,000 people, one-on-one conversations. My anxiety goes through the roof. I'm like, I hate small talk. Like I hate small talk.
Yeah.
But I can talk to hundreds of people on stage. So I think a lot of comics go through that. Entertainers in general just go through that.
No, I agree. I was talking to my coworkers the other day, man. I told them the same thing. I can talk to a room full of strangers that I never met before, and I could care less about necessarily like if they judge me per se. Just as long as like I'm making you laugh.
And it's weird because there's like. I don't. Maybe you guys have more shows under your belt than I ever did. So maybe this is just a newbie thing. But there's always like a separation almost between like in your head, like I don't really give a shit what this audience thinks.
But you do.
But you do.
Right.
And like you still get like the jitters when you're like, I don't really care if I'm gonna bomb, but you still do.
I think with anything, if you don't care what you're doing and you don't care about the perception of how you do stuff, you're in the wrong field. Like a lot of people say, like me, I'll go on stage, I tell people, hey, I don't care if I left my jokes or not, but I do.
Exactly.
So it's like I say that as like to me it's a comfort thing. Like I'm telling you that, but deep down I really do care.
Yeah.
I care what people think of me.
Absolutely.
But I don't really.
You want to be doing it if you do.
Right. I don't really get engulfed in what people think about me, but I do think about it sometimes. What my perception is, from other people. So.
Yeah, and I mean that's normal, man. Because I mean, and when being a comedian, like obviously you want to be a likable person on stage because you want that crowd to like. You want them to laugh. You want them to remember your name, and you want them to go and rave to their friends and be like, "Hey, I saw this guy."
Yep.
And when you hit that spot where you blow up, you want them to be able to be like, "Yo, I remember that guy.
Yeah.
I knew."
Yep.
And that's just a good feeling, man, because you'll get a message or something. Hey, man, I remember seeing you. Congratulations, things like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's just good to kind of build that rapport with people. We're kind of like therapists almost.
Yeah, I ain't think about that. You ain't bullshitting.
We're kind of like therapists.
A lot of people are trying to be their own therapists.
Yeah,
on stage.
It don't always work that way.
Especially on some Tuesday nights when them 3 and 5 minute slots. They brand new.
Yeah, right. You're like, oh, okay.
But I was once in those shoes, so I get it. And I tell people, especially like new comics, it's like, you know what, man, don't put too much pressure on yourself.
It's so easy to be bitter towards it, but that's how you destroy the art in the long term because less people are going to be.
I don't like watching my old videos. I found an old video the other day. I was just trying to redo some jokes, and I was watching it, and I was like, damn, if somebody would have told me I would have quit after this video, I probably would have quit. Like, it was horrible to watch.
That's like me watching my graduation set, man. Like, I went through the class at the Comedy Zone.
But that's usually one of your best sets, though.
I mean, yeah, and it was a good set at that time.
Right.
It was a good,
No, absolutely. I remember my graduation set, too. It was probably the most laughs I'll ever get in one room, but it was not my best set.
I was poor. I couldn't afford the class. I got 2 kids and a wife, so I can't afford it. I need to start taking plasma or something.
Man, I was in high school. I had a part-time job and no expenses.
There you go.
I was lucky.
It was good, man. Lachey commented when we were talking about perception and things like that. She said you don't let it dictate pretty much how you handle things, and that's absolutely correct, man.
Yeah.
I feel like if that's the case, similar to what Drew was just talking about, the bitterness.
Yep.
Some people get so jaded, man, because they may not be getting the opportunity they feel like they should be getting, or they see somebody else getting that and they feel doesn't deserve it, or their set's not going well. It's a lot of factors that can contribute to ill feelings.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of that is a lack of self-awareness.
I agree.
A lack of self-awareness, and I'll delve into it. And then I of course I get y'all thoughts on this, man. But I've been involved in a few conversations where people just weren't really that aware of their shall I say capabilities. You know, and it's just like, if you want me to feed you a crock of BS, just tell me that.
Exactly.
Don't ask my opinion, because you're asking for me to be honest with you.
Right.
If you want me to just fill your head with, you know, nonsense, say it, and I'll do it.
Right.
You know, I'll do it. I'll fill your head up.
I mean, sometimes people need that. Just be like, hey, Don, just puffer me up for a little bit.
Pump me up. All right, baby, here we go.
Well, that's why I appreciate, you know, Don is my best friend, because it's like, he'll tell me straight up, like, all right, Chris, you slacking. Like, we had a conversation last week. All right, it was like, yeah, nigga, you slacking. Like, and this is not even about comedy, just on some other shit. I was like, you know what, respect, I get it, thank you.
Yeah.
So, and I appreciate that. As my brother's my right hand, so I definitely want somebody in your corner that's not gonna give you BS, whether it be comedy, you know, friendship, relationship, anything. You gotta appreciate that. So.
Yeah.
My dog, I appreciate you, brother.
My man, I appreciate you, brother. I'm sorry, Crystal Rainey's gonna kill me, because y'all know she was in the military and she's still deadly.
She drink Tito's in San Diego. She tells that.
It was Tijuana.
Oh, Tijuana. Tito's and Tijuana.
It was Tito, and it was tequila.
Oh, excuse me.
She's mixing Tito's and tequila?
Yeah, it was. She called it Taquito. Yeah. Isn't that one of those things you get at 7-Eleven? Those
are delicious. With some sour cream.
Oh, yeah.
Tostino's maker. You can get them in the frozen bag section.
Bro, I eat them.
Slamming.
I had a roommate that just ate those like they were
like Tic Tacs.
And like hot fries. Crystal's her point was, you know, when we going back to the Kevin Hart thing, she feels that Kevin always had his own ball. He didn't necessarily pick up cats. I feel like his ball gained momentum.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah,
snowball effect.
There is always going to be like the mantle, like the top of comedy.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And even then, that's subjective.
And I don't think I don't think it's always going to be like one person for a specific era.
Right.
I mean, like if you go straight from Kat to Kevin, you're missing a good period of Dave Chappelle's career too.
Exactly.
And
Not to mention Bernie Mac, Patrice O'Neal.
Exactly.
I feel like you have goats, but I think you have to. It's like rap. You have to, you know, break them into different categories.
Yeah.
You know, like
for sure.
Go to punchlines. To me, like Kevin Hart. Like, a lot of people, you know, they're like, oh, we don't find Kevin Hart funny. That's cool.
His on stage presence, I think, sells more than a joke. And
exactly.
That's what helps
Definitely.
him. His on stage presence.
It's almost like a persona.
Right.
Yeah. But that can be good or bad, because now you get boxed into it. It's like, you want to do serious roles. Okay, he had that. What's that movie he had with my man in the wheelchair?
Wait, Kevin Hart had a serious movie?
Yeah,
like
with
Funny
Bryan
Side
Cranston.
Up or something like that.
Yeah, the
Upside.
The Upside, not the Blind Side. That's a different.
That's about racism.
Yeah.
So the Upside was Kevin Hart's serious movie that he did, and it wasn't like, I still see you as Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
So I think
was he playing a character?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like the dude that took care of the dude in the wheelchair. Huh. Now we got Kevin Hart and Heisenberg in the same movie. How am I supposed to take this seriously?
Right.
You know,
but how was his acting? Was he?
Kevin Hart to me is a good actor.
It was tolerable.
He's a really good actor. He's come a long way since Paper Soldiers. So he's a very good actor, man. Like, he really, and you can tell, as Crystal said, his work ethic is second to none.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
The man works.
I mean, you gotta be to get to that point.
He works like he's still trying to get to the top, man.
I think my work ethic would have topped down about 2-3 years ago. Like, you know what, I'm tired.
I would have made seriously funny and been like, all right, I'm done.
Right. That do it. I'm going to retire. Yeah, seriously funny. You should have just, you know what, I'm gonna go into the house.
They should have dropped the mic like Randy Watson on the stage.
That boy good.
Yeah, that boy good. God.
Do you see what Waka Flocka did?
He retired.
Yeah, he went on, I forget what show he went on, but he was like, yeah, I made $30 million. And I was like, I'm whack as shit. Why don't you keep doing this?
Exactly. You got to be honest with yourself.
Not saying that Kevin Hart is the same as Waka Flocka.
But you got to be honest with yourself. If it's time to hang it up, you got to hang it up.
I think Waka Flocka, I was kind of done with Waka when he said if he had went to college, he would have majored in geometry.
Yeah, I forgot.
I'm like, geometrics was not a major in college, my man.
He's a gangbanger from Atlanta.
That's not even. Yeah, they got shot at like a gas station or something like that.
But
you know Waka Flocka like 6'6".
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah. That dude is big as hell,
the
man.
7-Eleven by my house, you can get shot.
Oh, that one for Roswell Sperry?
Yeah, you can get shot over there.
Definitely can, man. I pump gas in the car.
I ain't bullshitting. Reach around. Yeah.
I jump in the back seat and take the thing out.
It's so bad. The police actually told them they gotta close. It used to be 24 hours. The police like, y'all gotta close at midnight.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, the police told them. So you know your shit bad when the police like, yo, I know you trying to make money, but shut it down.
Yeah.
Damn.
They were tired of coming over here.
Yeah, they're like Slurpees, nah.
Not at this hour.
So man, we are all a part of like the Charlotte comedy scene.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know, shout out to my man Mittens, aka Mark Hanlon.
What's up, Mittens?
And he said that you know, when it comes to like giving feedback and advice here in Charlotte, you know, we're pretty good about it.
Oh, yeah.
Now my policy is I only give advice if you ask me.
Exactly.
That's true. I agree.
1000%.
Yeah, I only give advice if you ask me. However, my my policy works two ways. If you're gonna ask me what my advice is,
be ready.
Be ready,
Yeah.
and don't ask me so you can argue with me about it.
Yeah.
You know, because like, what was the point of asking me?
Right.
You know,
that's fair.
What was the point of asking me? Drew, you know, in your line of work, man, being, you know, working at the Zone and things, you've seen everybody come and go, man. You've been here and seen so many comedians that, you know, come and then they just stop, they just quit.
Yeah.
You know, why do you think that occurs?
I mean, there's so many different reasons. I think a lot of people think it's going to be easier than it actually is.
I like that.
I think that a good amount of people just like get to a point where they're like, maybe I didn't want this as much as I thought I did,
Yeah,
or they're like, I came into this trying to be a headliner or something like that, and that's just not how this works.
Yeah, when I host open mic, I tell people all the time, I'm like, look, don't put too much pressure on yourself, because these 5 minutes, you're not gonna get a Netflix special tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you got to work at it, and I think that's people get discouraged. It's like, I'm supposed to be famous by now. I'm a year in. I'm supposed to be famous.
But I think like just that. I personally think that mindset is doomed to failure in and of itself, because you shouldn't be focused on getting a Netflix special. You should be focused on getting your material to be as good as it fucking can be. Like,
exactly.
That should be your only focus. I mean,
being
being able to bring out people is important too. But like at the end of the day, like you progress as a comedian by working on your craft, and like it's kind of all there is.
No, I agree with that, man. You know, a lot of people, you know, some people may put an emphasis on, you know, putting butts in chairs and things like that. It's cool, but you know,
I mean, there's 100% of business too.
Oh, definitely so, man. Definitely so, because at the end of the day, it's all about that, the money.
Yeah, that's what they care. Yeah, that's what they care about.
Yeah, it's all about the money.
There's some unfunny comedians who have a full-time job doing this stuff.
Definitely so, man. And it's all about comedy is 90% business, 10% funny. Yeah. So it's just, if you know, I make this example all the time, man. If I'm a booker, we got, you know, comedian A versus comedian B. Comedian A is A+, man, hot 100%, crushes every crowd that he touches and stuff like that. I'm talking about slays a room, but he's a terrible professional.
Dick.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to deal with him.
So important too.
Comedian B, he's so. He gets laughs here and there, some dead spots and whatnot.
He can hold the room.
He can hold a room, and he's professional. He's always there on time. Everybody has nothing but great things to say about him. Yeah. I'm booking comedian B.
For sure.
And if that's comedian B's, you know, work ethic and his demeanor throughout, he'll have a long career because of that.
Yeah.
A very long career.
I agree 100%, and I know it seemed like I didn't with what I said at first, but I think, I don't know, being professional and stuff like that, it's absolutely important. And like if you want to progress at all, you're gonna need to do that kind of stuff, just because, I mean, obviously you can make it to the top being a dick, but you're not doing yourself a favor.
Not at all.
Nobody wants to deal with you.
Nobody wants
Fake
to.
love,
there are some people that will sell out the Comedy Zone, and everybody's so excited to get tickets, and everyone thinks they're great, and they're just complete assholes offhand, and they go from getting booked every year to getting booked once every other year, and slowly fade away. You know?
I don't know if you can say this on air or not, but who's the? I would say,
yeah, I can. I don't be able to do that stuff.
You know where I'm going. You know how I'm going.
That's all camera conversation.
I didn't want to say like, who's the biggest dick. Like that's weird to say.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that big veiny triumphant bastard. That's what they said in Superbad when he was just drawing penises on. He said, I was just finishing up this one big veiny triumphant bastard. That's still the funniest movie I've ever seen Jonah Hill in, man. When you just said something interesting, man, that brought us back to another point about the self-awareness, you know. Do you feel like, when it's comedians and, they find that, people aren't wanting to book them and, they kind of gotta, like wonder what's going on.
Yeah.
It goes back to that self-awareness and they blame other people for not wanting to work with them.
Exactly.
But at some time you have to kind of look in the mirror and just be like, yo, it's me.
Yeah.
Imagine being divorced 5 times and getting married for a 6th and you wondering like, dang, how I keep getting divorced.
Yeah.
You're the common denominator in all
Liza
this.
Minnelli did it.
Well, she was bad back in the day.
So did Rush Limbaugh. So.
Oh yeah. I only like him in episodes of Family Guy.
Oh, I forgot he was in Family Guy.
Wait,
episodes. He was in a couple episodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of forget that he was like a ESPN person. It was like totally like. He might not have been ESPN, but he was like a sports radio guy.
Yo, you're right.
And then he was like, "Man, I'm just gonna be a full-time racist now."
Yeah. I don't know him as I was a full-time racist. I didn't know he did sports.
Yeah.
What he covered like golf.
Dude, let's come. Okay, so Crystal Ramey has a good point. She said the only time success comes before work is in the dictionary. I think Vince Lombardi said that.
Oh, so I heard yes. I know,
yeah, Vince Lombardi said that definitely. And you have to put in the work to get the success, man.
Yeah.
But so many people. That another point, man. Drew, you bringing it all out today. Entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm finding that there's a new wave, and I say new wave like I'm a vet, but I'm not. I'm still learning. I'm still getting behind the ears and things like that. But I've noticed that there's a new wave of entitlement where it's like people could come off of doing 1 or 2 open mics and now they're ready to headline.
Yeah.
Now they're ready. Oh, they got material. Yeah, I got an hour. You know what I'm saying? I got 30 minutes.
But people like, all right. So in that situation, they get booked. Who do you blame? Do you blame the comic or the booker?
I blame the comic.
All right. I'm sorry. Hear me out. I got bills.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes I may not be ready to headline like that show we talked about at High Point.
That wasn't you though. That wasn't you. That was a lot of liquor and a lot of black people.
Yeah,
that wasn't you.
That's not my crowd.
Oh, right.
But I had a bill. I had to pay the rest of my phone bill. So I was like, well, let me take this gig.
You had to do what you had to do.
Exactly.
But you're also not an open micer.
I'm on the bubble.
No. The only people that are on the bubble are college basketball teams. You're also not an open micer. You're a vet in the game, man. You have experience. You've done big shows. I'm talking about these people that just like last week they were like, oh, I want to try comedy. The following week, they're like, ooh, I went to the open mic. I got laughs. Oh, I'm a comedian now. The following week, hey, why ain't nobody booking me on their shows? I'm ready to headline in this mug.
Like, go to Facebook.
Right.
It's crazy. And working at the Comedy Zone, I see it so much more because I also work at the box office. And I'll be getting phone calls all the time that are like, hey, I'm ready to do this comedy thing. How do I get started?
What? That happens?
People got the nerve to do that?
Yeah.
I was sending emails so I wouldn't be just blindly rejected on the phone.
Right. The stones of some people.
Tell me about this comedy thing you guys are going on there.
Oh yeah,
I think I'm ready.
I always send them straight to the bookers because I think they'll have a good laugh out of it.
John Alice cracking up.
What is this? Yeah, what is this?
He make a song with it.
What is it?
Here's Joel's Pace cell phone number.
Oh shit.
Oh boy. Oh man, they want to get feelings hurt, bro.
That's funny.
Oh man. But it's crazy, man, the entitlement, man. And one thing, going through the class, the one thing that they definitely emphasized was, listen, until you're ready, don't take that gig.
Yeah. That's so hard to do, though.
You ain't bullshitting.
It is.
Because I got bills.
It is tough, man. I know starting out, I wanted everything, man. I wanted everything.
Yeah.
But I also knew that if I, went after everything and telling people I can do this, I can do that, and if I started the comedy world is so small, because if I'm, like 6 months in and I'm like, ooh, I can do 20, and I go to 3 separate rooms in 3 different cities and I do 20 and I suck, people gonna talk.
Yep. Yeah, you do kind of diminish your brand a little bit.
Exactly.
That's fair. Yeah,
exactly. And that's
so it's one thing to bomb at an open mic. It's another thing to bomb at.
And you on the flyer.
Right. Exactly.
You got the big pitch on the flyer.
Yeah, and they boost you up, man. It's